Okay, so today we wanted to talk about the law of cosines. Okay, so the law of cosines to solve the oblique triangles. So because last section we talked about the law of sines, which cannot solve the cases SAS, yeah. And also we also wanted to talk about to find the area of the triangle, which is using a different method. Okay, it's called Heron's formula to find the area of a triangle. Okay, so solving the oblique triangle we have already discussed. Okay, so for the law of cosines, for what kind of triangles we wanted to solve here, it's SAS. What means SAS? Means two sides and the angle in between. SSS means if you are given all three sides, no angles is given. Yeah, so for both of these cases, you do not have a pair. So here you know angles. For here, you have the angle, and you do not have the opposite side. You have the side, but you do not have the opposite angle here. Yeah, so both cases cannot not applicable to law of sines. Okay, so this is why we need to construct another formula called what? Law of cosines. So what is the law of cosines? This means what? A squared equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. So what does this mean? Okay, so if we have a, b, c, so we know b, we know c, we know angle a. Yeah. So if we know b, we know c, we know angle a. So what can happen? How could you find the opposite a? We know that a squared equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. Okay. So this is what? Two sides, the angle in between. Yeah. So this is SAS. This is the case for SAS. Yeah. Okay, are you guys clear? Yeah, so these are the formula. How could you remember the formula? I didn't find like very easy way, so you just like remember a squared b squared plus c squared minus 2bc. Yeah, so no shortcut to memorize the formula. Okay, you have to remember this, unfortunately. Okay, so use the law of cosines to find the opposite side. So what will be the solving the SAS? So you use the law of cosine to find the opposite side first. After you find the opposite side, what do you have now? You do have a pair. Then a pair exists. Then can use the law of what? Sine to find the others. Yeah, so you can find the other one angle, and then you can find the third angle by subtract the two angles. Yeah. Okay, so this is the idea now. So we know a equal to 120, b equal to 7, c equal to 8. So what will we do? We know the two sides, we know the angle included or in between. So we can find use a squared equal to b squared plus c squared, which is law of cosine. Okay, so because you used to should be have plus or minus, but a is the length here, so this is what? 13. Okay, so after you get a equal to 13, what should we do? We have a pair now, yeah, so what will you do? A over sine of a, it can be b over sine of b. So this means 13 over sine of 120. It can be what? B, 7 over sine of b. Yeah. Okay. Over sine of b. Okay. So the thing yeah, so this is the step 2, yeah, so this is, I just explained to you. This also came here. B equal to 28 degrees. 28 degrees, yeah. Okay, I think for this question, okay, if I were you, okay, so you need to be a little bit careful, because b is this, b equal to 28 degrees, yeah. Do not forget, yeah, b equal to 28 degrees. Okay, perfect, yeah. So that's good. Okay, so after you get b equal to 28, and then what will you do? You can find the third angle, use 180 minus the other two, yeah. Good. Okay, so what if you have 3 sides? S. Do not have the angle. How could you find the angle? How could you use the law of cosines to find the angle? Anything. Okay, so a squared equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. Yeah, cosine a. Okay, so what should we do now? Okay, so we wanted to find an angle, so we wanted to isolate here. Yeah, so what will you do? Is 2bc cosine a equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared. You move this on the other side, you move the a squared. So what will be the cosine a? 2bc b squared plus c squared minus what? A squared, yeah? What will be a equal to? Cosine inverse. B squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. Okay? Okay, so, you can use the find the angle to find the opposite, the longest side, yeah? The longest side, or, actually this does not matter too much. Okay, this does not matter too much. You can find any side if you want to, but the longer side will be better. Okay. Okay, so what is the longer side here? B, yeah. So then we wanted to use b squared here, yeah. The cosine inverse, when you find all these things, what I just told you, it will be like this. Cosine inverse will be what? 82 degrees. 82 degrees. Okay, so then after you get 82 degrees, what do you have now? What do you have now? 82 degrees. You have a pair. Once a pair exists, so once a pair exists, what happened? Law of sines. Yeah, it's a law of sines to find that other one. After you find the 2 angles, the third angle, subtract, yeah? Pretty easy. Okay, so application questions, yeah? So if you have 2 airplanes leave the airport at the same time on different runways, well, this is very important. One flies directly north at 400 miles per hour. So one directly for 400 miles per hour. The other flies a bearing in 75 east at 350 miles per hour. Okay. And how far apart will the airplanes be after 2 hours? After 2 hours. Okay. So after 2 hours, how far it will run here? So 400 times 2 is what? 800 miles, yeah? And this one is 350 times 2 is what? 700 miles. You with me? So one is what? Going directly north. So for 800, 800. The other one is northeast, 75 degrees, yeah? So 75 degrees. So this is what? 700, yeah? Okay, so now you know this 800, this is 700. The angle in between is 75. You want it how far apart? It means the opposite side of 75 degrees. Yeah? Then what will you do? You have two sides, the angle in between. Law of what? Cosines. Law of cosines. Okay. Then you can plug in all these values to get this thing. Okay, so the next formula is called Heron's formula. Heron's formula is to find the area of the triangle. Okay, so this is this formula. Okay, so area equal to square root of s times s minus a, s minus b, s minus c, where s equal to what? A half a plus b plus c. Okay, so this formula is only useful when you are only give all three sides to find the area of the triangle. Okay, so if you are only given all three sides, no angles, how could you find the area? This formula is pretty easy. Yeah, so if you A, B, C, so first thing you want to find is S. The small s is not the area s, okay? It's a half of A plus B plus C, so equal to 20. So 20 minus 6, 20 minus 16. 20 minus 6 is 20 minus A, 20 minus 16, 20 minus B, and 20 minus what? 18. Then you square root of all these things. It will be the final answer. Okay, so this is the section for law of what? Cosines. Remember, so when will you use law of cosines? So there are two cases, SAS and SSS, yeah? And after you find, for the SAS, yeah, after you find the opposite side, what will you do? You have a pair. You will use what? Law of sine to find the other angle, and then use 180 minus the two angles to find the third one. So for SSS, what will you do? You use law of cosine to find the angle opposite to the longest side. Then you also have a pair. And then after you have a pair, always use what? Law of sines to find one angle more, and then find the rest of them. Then another thing is, for the Heron's formula, you have to use what? All three sides, yeah? All three sides, yeah? So, you just need to remember all these formulas, okay? Okay.